Hi, welcome to learnhowtogarden.com. In today's episode of Learn How to Garden, I'm going to show you how to actually get a fantastic crop of chilies or tomatoes using a product from a company called Greenhouse Sensations called their Duo Grow. If you're not already subscribed to me at Learn How to Garden, there is a link below this film. Click on that, input your email address, and it means every single time we put up a film we can let you know, and it also means we let you get access to our free monthly newsletter. One of the most popular films I have actually shows people how the pot size on a chilli really does determine the amount of crop you've got. And in fact, these chilies here have been kept in these tiny pots to stress them into producing flowers very early in their life. And what I'm going to do now is pop them on so that although they'll get much bigger, I'll get some very early chilies from them. And the product I've chosen to put them on into is a product from Greenhouse Sensation, and it's based on the proven technology of their Quad Grow, which is you have a large reservoir for the water, and onto the top of that we have our growing pots which are separated from the water so that they're not sitting in it, so that the soil itself, the actual growing media, only takes up the amount of water and nutrient, because this is nutrient all of the time, that the plant needs. And these are much bigger than the Chilli Grow. These are 12-litre pots. And because there's only two of them, it will fit onto a balcony. It's really compact, very easy to use. And what you do when it arrives, you take these feeder mats, curve them round, pop them through the base, pull them through so that the top of the mat is just below the surface. And then you take the feeder mat and drop it into the actual container. And at this moment in time there's no water in the container. This is one that we've already filled with compost, and the compost I'm using here is a mixture of compost made by a company in England that produce compost using composted wool and composted bracken, and the one I'm using is one that's actually got twice as much potash in as most composts. You could use a multi-purpose compost, but a multi-purpose compost is a bit like a multi-purpose vehicle. It's not a specialist vehicle, and as we know, a specialist sports car will go faster, a specialist 4x4 will go off-road, and this is a specialist high potash compost that I'm choosing to use, which is really good for getting high crops of chilies. And it's done in exactly the same way as the previous one. So we take the wick, pop it down. We then take one of our chilli plants and we drop it in so that we're up to the bottom leaves. And that means that this actual chilli will grow more roots out of its stem and give us a stronger, healthier plant. And then we take our Dalesfoot double strength compost and we mix it about a third perlite, and then we just fill this up to within about half an inch of the top. Once your chilli or your tomato or your dwarf beans are in place, water from the top, water very well, and leave it. And after about 10 days you actually then fill the reservoir with a mixture of water and feed, and it's then that the actual plant will have enough roots to draw up from the reservoir the feed and water it needs, and from then on you actually just put the feed and the water together into the reservoir. A word of warning: don't increase the amount of feed. With a lot of plants, increasing the amount of feed does not necessarily increase the amount of crop you get, but what it can do is reduce the taste, reduce the essential oils, so that you're not actually getting all of the flavour from your crop. So stick to the manufacturer's recommendations, and you'll find that with this Duo Grow you will actually get bigger chilies than if you were using the normal Chilli Grow, because you have a bigger pot to grow them in. And this small 2-pot unit can fit in the smallest space. It'll fit at the back of a normal 6-foot greenhouse in between the 2 rows that go down the sides. Very useful, great addition to Greenhouse Sensations range, and I find it really useful for growing chilies in.